Today we're going to review how to make and how easy it is to make vanilla cheesecake. For some of you, I know you guys love vanilla cheesecake. You can do anything, put anything in there that you like. You can just make it plain and put toppings on top, which I'm going to review too, okay? But I'm going to just show you how easy this is. You have to make a crust. You don't actually even need to really make a crust. You can just make the cheesecake, and that's a very keto type of a dessert with no almond flour or anything. But the crust is nice too. And this particular crust you can use with all sorts of stuff. You can make pies with this crust. But I want to just review it with you real quick how easy it really is. So what you need is 3/4 cup of almond flour, a 1/4 cup of coconut flour, a teaspoon of baking powder, a 1/2 cup of coconut oil or butter. If you don't have any milk allergies or whatever, I use butter only because I think the taste is a little bit better, but either is fine, whatever you prefer. And a 1/2 cup of erythritol. And remember, with my erythritol, what I do is I take granulated erythritol that I order. And then I just grind it up you can grind it up like in your Vitamix or your Bullet. I'm starting to use my Bullet more because it actually works better, okay? So you just put that in there. And then, what else? 1 egg. There we go. And that's your crust, pretty much. I'm going to just add some salt here. A teaspoon of salt. And there is your crust. So all you have to do is now mix it, and it just becomes a pretty thick paste. I don't want to call it a paste really, but it's a dough, of course. And you just mix it all up like that. Pretty darn easy. So you end up with something that looks kind of like that, okay? Now, because it's quite a warm day today, it's like 95 degrees outside, this is a little softer probably than it would be if it was a little cooler, and you know, with the butter being warm and everything like that. But all you do at this point, and I've already made one here, is you use, this is one of the bigger, I think this is a 10-inch pan, and I like using the 10-inch, and this is a springform. The bottom comes off, which is great. I like using the 10-inch because it makes the crust a little thinner and just makes a bigger cheesecake. Really, it's not such a thick cheesecake. Also, what I want to show you, and I figured this out finally when I was making this cheesecake, because sometimes that almond crust is a little hard to get off of the bottom. So, you know, so you're digging at it when you're trying to serve it to your guests. So guess what I came up with? Yeah, parchment paper, okay? And all you do is you take some parchment paper, trace it like that, and then cut it out and you put it on the inside. You can put a little bit of butter on the inside and then put this down to make it stick. And then when you pour this dough into the bottom of the pan with your fingers, you can see those are all my finger marks. With the fingers, you just make it all nice and even, and you bake that for about 20 minutes, or 15 minutes. But I generally end up doing it for 20. I like it to get it nice and baked and nice and brown around the edges. It's your preference, whatever works. Okay, so that's what I wanted to show you with that. It's already made. I let that cool. It's nice and cold now. And then we're going to make the cheesecake, all right? Okay, so I'm just going to get rid of some of my dishes here. And now we're going to go on and make the filling, which is super easy also. This is not hard, you guys. Okay, so it takes 5 8-ounce blocks of cream cheese. I get mine at Costco, of course, because it's such a great price when you can buy it in bulk like that. And then I just let them sit on a plate and let them go to room temperature. But I then put it in the microwave, so it's kind of really soft like that, because it whips it up really nicely and you don't end up with any chunks in there. Then all you do, now I'm using my Bosch, but whatever KitchenAid or whatever you have is great. Just see if I can do this without making a big mess. Oops, a little cream cheese there. There we go. And then it calls for 1.5 cups of erythritol or swerve. My choice is again erythritol. I like the taste of it. I get a little bit of a menthol aftertaste with swerve, but most people don't, and a lot of people like swerve. The other reason I like erythritol though is because I think the price is better. You generally get a better deal on this, okay? So you just put your erythritol in there. That's your sweetener. And then what else here? Then it's so a teaspoon of, when you're using erythritol, it's not quite as sweet, so I use a teaspoon of stevia glyceride. The reason I love using the mixture is I think you get a much better natural taste. And most people, honestly, they do not know that that it doesn't have real sugar in it, which is great because, you know, then they're going to enjoy the taste of your desserts. 3/4 cup almond milk or whole milk, whatever milk you have, almond or whole is fine. Sometimes if I have a little of each, I use a combination of each. So I'm just going to mix this up a little bit here. And until it's nice and smooth. I did add the almond milk with it. You can first of all just do the sweeteners and the cheesecake and then the almond milk. I just added up and throwing it all in there, which is fine. So we're going to whip it up real good here. Hang on 1 second so it's nice and smooth. Then what I'm going to do is here's 3 eggs. I'm just going to kind of plop them in here one at a time. Incorporate them. There's another one. There's the other one. Let that mix for a little bit. And then the only other thing is a tablespoon of vanilla, okay? I'm just going to scrape down the sides and I'll let that mix for half a minute after that. And then we're going to just pour it into the crust and you're done. That's your cheesecake. Pretty cool, huh? Now I'm just going to pour it into my prepared crust. And that's going to do it. Good to go, okay? Then you can do it. The best way, actually, I find to get cakes, like round cakes or cheesecakes, nice and even is you just kind of spin them like that. And then it brings it out to the sides, and then you bake it. Now, there's a trick. Everybody has a trick about how to bake it so it doesn't crack. I have found with working with different cream cheese, and I think I'm using Philadelphia here, which I like Philadelphia very much. But so far, I don't think I've been able to make a cheesecake with Philadelphia that doesn't crack a little bit. I don't know if it is because of the cheesecake, the different cream cheeses or not. But anyways, so what you do is you put it in the oven at about 300, I think this is 325, yeah, 325 degrees for an hour. Then when it's done, you leave the oven closed, you turn it off and let it sit there for the next 5 hours. And it slowly cools, and that's what keeps it from really cracking into a big crater, okay? But anyway, so that's how easy it is. It's just fantastic. And then once it's cooled, then of course you put a knife around there, pop the spring form off, and you have a pretty cake. What I want to go over with you is how to make sauces. I just was playing with it up home in Canada. My mom had a bunch of fruit, and so she had a big bag of frozen picked blueberries. And I put a big old thing in a pot. I put some water in there, and I put about a cup of, like just a big bag really, about a cup of erythritol in there, and just let it boil down, and boil down, and boil down. And then to thicken it, I put xanthan gum. It's a very, very fine powder, and just with your fingers, you kind of just put it over top of the, in the pot, and then mix it in, and then check for the thickness, because you can see it thickening right in front of your eyes. Then I had a bunch of these canning jars. You can pick them up anywhere, Walmart or whatever. And as long as they're very sterile, make sure like I even actually sterilized the lids in a pot of water and kept them in there until I was ready to use them. It has to be super, super sterile. Okay, like put these in a dishwasher, put the lids in a pot of hot water, and all you do is you pour the blueberry sauce or whatever fruit you have in here. Screw the lid on, and as it cools, this lid sucks in and it is sealed. And in fact, you have to like pry it open and it goes pop, and then so you can without, you don't even need the whole canning thing of where you're having it in water and simmer, and you can do that too. But this is just a nice quick way. And then you can either store those in your refrigerator or in a nice cool place in your pantry or somewhere, okay? But anyway, so here you got sauce with no sugar on it. You can put that over pancakes, you can put it over anything, but I'll tell you, ice cream, oh my goodness. By the way, yesterday was National Ice Cream Day for those of you who I hope you celebrated. But anyway, so on top of cheesecakes, it's fantastic. Strawberries, you can do just about the same thing. You can take fresh strawberries or frozen strawberries, add a little water or erythritol, boil it down a little bit. If it's not thick enough, then you put some xanthan gum on, and you got a beautiful strawberry or raspberry or whatever sauce you want. Okay? I hope you guys enjoy it, because this is such a fun thing to have available for your friends and family. And if you have any questions, let me know. Below, if you're curious about ingredients, I'm going to make sure that below this video is another video you can click that I review all my ingredients, all the sweeteners I use, the almond flours, all that, for some of you that haven't had a chance to watch that, okay? Because once you understand how easy it is to purchase this stuff and have this part of your arsenal, you can at that point make anything, and it's so very good. I sure look forward to hearing your comments, and let me know if you have any questions.